Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community, and you want to know... Okay, I would like to share a piece of advice with everybody. And I would like to include in this piece of advice, since we're just going to start off right off the bat here.
You're coming out swinging?
Coming out swinger. To everybody, apologies. Apparently, the link didn't work, so it didn't bring everyone over automatically. Apologies if you're watching us live, but I do have a piece of advice, and this piece of advice is to Master Chief. It's a piece of advice that my grandfather told my father, and my father passed it down to me, and then my grandfather also passed it down to me a couple times. And that piece of advice is, wait for it, keep your pecker in your pants.
What?
And Master Chief has been unable to do that. Master Chief in this week in the highly lauded and
I didn't watch this week's episode.
And canonical episode.
Did he de-armor
had
again?
sexual relations with the Covenant girl.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, I was joking about the Covenant orgy, but
Yeah.
I predicted that one.
It's real. The memes are hilarious out there.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. So if you're enjoying this show, you can of course enjoy the show for what it is. It's a mediocre sci-fi show. But it's not Halo. And I think that the part where people get mad and that people are angered and frustrated is that you're just using Halo for promotional purposes. It's not Halo. It's not Master Chief. Master Chief doesn't bang the intern.
Doesn't pull the hammer out of the tool belt.
But Joel there doesn't pound. Yeah,
He doesn't take his armor and slam that sucker.
He would break.
Well, he does.
He would like break
but
her
he does.
spine.
Yeah.
He's asexual, everybody. That's Master Chief. That's part of what makes him great. He's basically a human machine.
He's a weapon.
Also, can we pull it up? Pull it up. Pull up. Just search
what am I pulling up?
Master Chief.
I'm not pulling up
You
his
might have
hammer.
No, just go to Twitter.
You might have to turn off Net Nanny for this.
Yeah. No. Go to Twitter and type in Master Chief. That's all you have to do, and it will pull up. What was the weirdest about it all is they made Cortana watch.
Huh. Well, does she... Okay, this is going to get weird. But does she, like, experience the same
So
feeling?
if you search...
Because she's technically in his head,
and then go
right?
top. If you search Master Chief and go top, the image will be there.
And
Everyone's
she's
Oh, so you picked on people. You clicked on people. In top right,
I don't know
is
what I'm
search.
doing.
Yeah, Mark doesn't
right
use
there.
Twitter.
Right there.
I don't use
you
Twitter.
Your mouse just went over it. Right there.
Search Twitter?
Yeah. Now just
Okay.
type in Master Chief.
So that's the question. Does Cortana get to experience it as well? Because she is implanted like directly into his brain.
right there.
You know what I mean?
Right there. See the image? The third one over. That's Cortana. That's her facial expression they had her
Here,
make
I'll switch it over
while
so people
watching.
can see it.
Oh, that's our card right there, everybody. XoneBros. Yeah. Anyways, I just want to say, like, it's fine if you're enjoying it, but it's not It's not Halo. That's it. The end. It's not Halo. It's not Master Chief. And I think I think Hollywood sucks. I think Hollywood has no original ideas left. I think they're full of themselves, and they were like, we know how to tell stories. No, all the best storytellers are in gaming right now. Can we click on that? Is that
I don't know. Can I click on it?
Scroll down.
I don't know how to use Twitter.
Yeah, just click on that image.
I just got to shout this out. Reactor Leak has a great take on this. Honestly,
Okay.
he says, odd. Usually you watch people on the internet having sex. Now the internet is watching him. That's true. Because Cortana, yeah.
But Boy Will says, I don't think she's enjoying it. Yeah, for those of you listening, there's nothing inappropriate that we're showing here, but it does have the close-up face of Cortana, and she looks sad.
She looks like, what's that facial expression? She's like,
Are they gonna?
like, it's like she lost a bet. It's like,
Click on the comment over to the right. That image, that is hilarious. The memes to this
Yeah, that is-
are hilarious. This meme, it shows a picture
don't
of
know.
Cortana, and then underneath it,
I can't resize it. So it says, "You're next, pal."
your next pal. Underneath it shows Master Chief on. I think that's a scene from Psycho, American Psycho.
Yeah.
It says your next pal.
That's funny. So it comes on every Thursday for us here in America.
In the U.S.
And I didn't see. I'm all caught up minus last night's episode, but you know, I want to know like how that conversation goes, like just because this isn't like you're like like normal people. I don't want to
The
say
writing
normal,
room.
Yeah,
The
the writing
writers.
room, because you're sitting there like, all right, guys.
All right, we need to have.
I have this idea for a story element. So he has the chip in his back. What if we make him take it out? And then someone like raises their hand. Yeah, that's a great idea. And then it can like introduce him. He can have different feelings. And then like some guy raises his hand. Wait a minute. What if he does it butt naked in the bathroom? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I don't. And then like with I don't know.
Let's have him do the spy from the Covenant.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
So
What if Cortana watches?
We
Want me to go back?
Yeah. No, well, if you just hit X. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, hit X, top left corner, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let's scroll down. There's the memes are just cracking me up though. But anyways, yeah, that's the Master Chief. No, I'm agree with you, Jordan. What takes place in that? It's like, guys, Game of Thrones did it. We need to do it.
Well, like I'm not against romantic or sex scenes. I am against pointless scenes.
I'm against Master Chief.
Jordan, there definitely was a point in this one.
Master
Hey.
Chief. That's just not Master Chief.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, see, I mean, and this is, they are very,
Okay.
they're very pleased with themselves that they're taking this story and just taking a dump on it. That's what I feel like, because remember, I'm not watching this because they obviously didn't want me to see it.
Yeah.
Because they said, oh, you know what? We're doing Halo. We're super excited that we actually went out of our way not to play the games, and we went out of our way to not follow the story at all. It's like we're really excited to tell our own version of the story that we don't even know.
What was the one thing we said like 2 years ago?
All right, well, then I'm not going to watch it.
What was the one thing we said 2 years ago? Don't HBO it.
HBO Master Chief. I mean,
Yeah,
they kind
you
of,
can HBO people around Master Chief.
Yeah, all you want.
Yeah, but
I
don't
would
HBO
imagine
Master Chief.
Yeah, I would imagine the Covenant gets freaky regularly.
That's a shame. But they're doing this to all my favorite stories, so whatever.
Yeah, actually, so I think it's just a mediocre sci-fi show. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just meh. But after watching this, I think I'm gonna take Mark's approach with the new Lord of the Rings show and
it's
not
gonna be
watch
screwed
it.
over.
Yeah, like I am
that's
legit.
what it is.
It's my favorite story. One of my favorite stories of all time. It's like it just.
The Master Chief erection.
Halo.
That's hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, no, it's fine if you like the show. That's fine. It's a sci-fi show, but it's not Halo, and I think that's the point. And I think Hollywood, Paramount's like, this is an international success. Okay. You didn't like pay respect to our character.
Well, and is it an international success?
Yeah, what do they
Like
do
what?
they-
What is the bar for that? Because technically, our podcast is an international
Our
success.
podcast is
what I mean?
international.
And our bar's
success.
pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's foolish. All right, on to
Maybe we should get HBO'd.
I have been HBO'd.
I can bobblehead us on top of any scene you want, Jordan.
Can we?
Well, we might.
Can we make
And then
Master-
bobblehead yourself on
Can-
Cortana watching.
Yeah, can we? Let's make that one of our membership like bonus videos.
We will post it on OnlyFans.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
See, but now, like, I'm just gonna throw this out there
Throw it out.
because this, I think, is actually gonna be
Throw
a
it out.
stupid storyline. She's probably gonna get pregnant, and there's gonna be Master Baby.
Master Baby.
You know
And
what
he's
I
gonna
mean?
be an evil baby.
And he's gonna be like half weird human covenant, half Master Chief.
Weird human covenant.
You know,
Well, they have to. Well, and obviously, they're probably,
you know what's gonna happen.
So is Cortana the triangle love interest character? Like you know how like they do that in shows. There's one person that person likes, but then that other person gets introduced to make that tension. You know, that gets people to continuously watch the show. Is Cortana the AI?
I don't think so, because like Master Chief and Cortana like are still
'Cause-
building their relationship.
Cortana looks
Well, I
like
mean-
distraught. She looks like she's like
Well,
it's
she's
like sad and
you know,
terrified at the same time.
She's experiencing this for the first time.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from that.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't think
She's
she's
new.
happy about it, but maybe she's happy about it. It's kind of a weird face. She's like, huh, and then she's taking AI notes, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. See, but this is like there's some cool like Cortana in the show is voiced by Jen Taylor, which is Cortana. So like they do cool things like that. Like that was when that happened. I actually didn't know she was going to be the voice before I heard it, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh, she is the voice, and I was really happy and surprised because Jen Taylor is the voice of Cortana. She is Cortana. Mm-hmm. Then they do weird scenes like this. You know what I mean? And it's like.
That's funny that Cortana had to watch. That's even
I don't.
funnier.
I'm gonna throw this out there again.
Yeah, that's the weird thing.
Yeah, why have her watch? Like that. Like that's.
Oh man,
I bet you this scene wouldn't be as bad if Cortana wasn't watching. Like if it was just a normal love scene between these two. I mean, still weird, and I hope they don't go with like the master baby storyline. But you know they're going to. But why is Cortana there? I mean, I get why she's there because she's in his head. But
do you think she's watching like how the Matrix with the numbers and stuff are going down the walls, and you know?
And she's like, "Whoa, that's
I don't even see the numbers
weird.
anymore."
Yeah, it's like a redhead.
Because
yeah, it's definitely a.
this is the problem. Well, I don't like to talk about it too much because I just get mad and upset. But that's the problem.
Well, again,
you have people that are taking these treasured stories and treasure storytelling, or that have been told really really well in the past, and I call them these writers and these creators of this art, like they're giants, and then you have these new writers coming on and just taking a dump all over these old stories.
Yeah, no respect. Just create. If you want to create a sci-fi story, just create your own sci-fi story. Don't take
Honestly,
an already established character with already established canon and ignore it all.
Honestly, what I think they should
I'd call
have,
it the multiverse.
What I think they
That
should
pisses me off.
What I think they should have done is you can create this story, do whatever, but let it be about another Spartan or a Marine or an ODST, like someone you know what I mean, around them. Yeah, like I would be fine with even another Spartan, right?
Well, because it keeps,
but I think it would be better because then you would have the freedom you want, obviously, because you want
Well, Master Chief is
voyeur three-way scenes, but
which to
so
be
you,
clear,
I mean you have that freedom.
Which, to be clear, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with that in this context.
yeah. In Game of Thrones, perfect scene. In this show, not so much.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe it's just I hope. For some reason, I just get this vibe they're gonna go like she's gonna become pregnant.
No, they've already ruined. They've already ruined the show. Here's why they've already ruined the show because all Halos, every Halo game, Master Chief has this mystique, and it's like when he shows up, everyone's like, there's Master Chief. Whoa, you took away all the mystique in episode 1, and you just continue to take. He's just a normal dude. He's just a normal dude banging the first girl available to him.
That's true.
That's it. He's a college frat boy.
Yeah.
And while making his poor AI, who secretly loves him, watch.
Not to mention, like, I don't want to get into the logistics of this, but these are genetically enhanced humans, and that's a small girl.
And she is not genetically enhanced.
He would.
He would. A poodle's going up against an elephant.
It's like you guys remember the Twilight?
Yeah. It was like when the bed breaking.
Yeah. But like it's like she how she was. Like she couldn't handle it because he was like, Rah,
he was a vampire.
Like, he was just like genetically enhanced. Wouldn't this be the same situation?
It would be worse.
Like he would snap her in half.
For those of you, I'm laughing because Jordan's expression is just utter disappointment and sadness for those of you listening.
It just doesn't make sense. Now, see, and this is where we're getting into it. If it was another Spartan, that would make more sense because they're both of the same.
They're both
muscular.
They're equally yoked.
Yeah. Yes. That's a good way to put it.
Yes.
And then I guess you could still have Cortana watching, but
that's just weird. Maybe Cortana. Maybe.
I don't know.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
Hopefully, because of all the genetic enhancements they have, they're sterile, like The Witcher, so they don't have to go through like a stupid child storyline thing.
Atticus in chat says when Chief's baby pops out, he'll say, "I need a weapon."
That'll be his first words. Actually, see if they do that, maybe I am for that storyline.
A little baby Master Chief.
He's just running around on the field like this small guy, taking off grunts.
Yeah. Anyways.
It's a shame, right? This is like I've been seeing this for the last 10 years, and I feel like I've been taking crazy pills, and I've just been a pessimist. But it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Like they're screwing over all my
Have you
stories.
watched Nobody yet?
No. Oh no. Yeah. No.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I like that show.
And I watched like a recap of like the first episode of this, of Halo.
First episode I think started out strong.
But here's the problem: like there was so much lazy writing in it.
The first half of the first episode started out strong.
First 15 minutes.
And I'm trying to avoid watching.
Isn't it 10 million
but
an
there's
episode?
Like exposition in the dialogue like crazy. Like it drives me. It's like lazy writing, and I've only watched like 10 minutes, and I can't do it. It drives me crazy.
Well, they really should have went with someone other than Master Chief, because I feel like that would have given you more freedom to do what they wanted.
Yeah,
without,
if it's just a soldier around Master Chief, or you could do whatever you want, and no one would complain, and then you'd have these highlights, Master Chief, and you could advertise the week before, like Master Chief shows up, and it would be this huge deal.
Imagine if an ODST like banged whatever, right, and he comes out the door, and then Master Chief's walking by and just gives him a nod. You're like,
yeah, see,
with his helmet on,
with his helmet on, like,
yeah, fist bumps him.
Fist bumps him. Then that's something we all can be like, yeah, Master Chief's into this storyline.
It's just when you go back and watch things like the Halo 3 Landfall and the ODST cinematic advertisements that they had, there was just this. It just had like this dark, gritty feel of like soldiers fighting for their lives. This show does not have that.
No.
Even in what's the Forward Unto Dawn, it even had that feel too. Like when the Academy was attacked, like it was just the Covenant was something to fear, and in this show there's something to do.
Well said, Jordan.
Because she's technically a part of the Covenant, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
which is strange. In my head.
Do you hear the hurt? Like, I want this show to be good.
The desk.
Sorry. Yeah. Like, it's just.
I hear the hurt.
It's just like,
Yeah. I'm sorry. So I mean, you can like the show. That's fine. But it's a sci-fi show. It's not Halo. It's not a Halo show. That's the end.
We are looking at it as a story that we grew up with, that we enjoy, and this is not what we remember the story to be.
It's definitely the silver timeline. Not the...
And it sucks.
And it sucks. Yeah.
Let's move on to the decision by Bethesda and Microsoft to delay Starfield, and maybe we bring up some Starfield trailers or something.
Also
Starfield
sucks.
and Redfall.
Oh, yeah, that was big this week.
Yeah, big news. Here's the statement from Bethesda. Bethesda dropped a tweet and said, "We've made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield to the first half of 2023. The teams at Arcane Austin for Redfall and Bethesda Game Studios for Starfield have incredible ambitions for their games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. We want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. That energy is a huge part of what inspires all of us every day and drives our own excitement for what we are creating. We can't wait to share our first deep dive into gameplay for both Redfall and Starfield soon. Thank you for your support." I mean, I think we're going to get gameplay of both at the Xbox Bethesda Showcase event.
Yeah.
But big deal, not a big deal. Obviously disappointed because I want to play it sooner. But Jason Schreier dropped another report once this came out and said last year he was hearing developers concerned about that date, and they were using the term "the next Cyberpunk" at that time. Certain developers. So if that was the case, then definitely, obviously,
do you think it's in that bad? I mean, I don't.
No, I don't think it's in that bad of shape. I don't.
Like, I mean, every game's in bad shape till it's ready.
Till it's ready.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Because you're always consistently working on it, but. No, I mean it sucks because I was actually really excited. I'm really excited for the aesthetic of Starfall. I think their art style, like all the Starfield, yeah, Starfall. What is that?
I think that's a Bond movie.
I don't know. Yeah.
Pretty sure that's a James Bond movie.
Starfalls.
Yeah. No, it's
Skyfall. That one's Skyfall.
There you go.
Oh, there's something
Skyfall.
other.
With any delay of a game you're excited about, you're super disappointed. I want it to be good, so I'm okay. I'm disappointed with the delay, but if they need the extra time to obviously work on it, I mean, then they need the extra time to work on it. And if you think, first half of 2023, so this was coming out in November. First half of 2023, it's not too bad of a delay. I mean, worst case scenario, 6 months because you're the first. So I don't think it's that bad of a delay, but it is a bummer because I was really looking forward to this. I dig the art style. I love the trailer they show. Their box art that they show reminds me of like the old Star Wars 80s posters. You know, it's just really everything about this game I really like. It's a brand new IP from Bethesda. I'm excited to see where they go with everything they've learned over the years. So, it's a bummer, but if they need the time, they need the time. Redfall, I'm not so concerned about because there's really not much we know about the game yet. So it's kind of maybe I'll be blown away by the.
A lot of fall games coming out.
Redfall, Starfield,
Greedfall.
Oh, that's where you got. Oh, that's right. You're making my brain hurt, Jordan. Yeah. Hey, can I take a hot take on this?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you turn me down slightly? Sorry, I have new headphones. Everybody, there we go.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I used to be, just like Jordan. Where I'm bummed, but I'm glad that we hopefully will get a game that works.
Yeah.
Now I'm okay with the game. I'm very okay. I'm not. Well, yeah, I'm going to say I'm happy that they're delayed because I have plenty of games to play and I want it to be done right. Yeah. So I don't even I'm like pushing my mentality out to the I want it done right. After the many games that we have had in the past that I've been excited about that have just sucked hard and are in many cases are broken. Delay it. That's awesome. Go for it. Make it right for when we play it. And I will I hopefully enjoy it as much as I can because a good game can change the world, David.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean Bethesda games are known to launch with, lots of bugs. It's not anything new. I mean, I know Fallout 76 was a little bit more of, worse. But maybe they're just taking the extra time to polish all those out to have a good, solid launch.
Yeah, I think the issue here is let's just stop having release dates so far out. Isn't Bethesda known for we have a conference and then it's coming in 6 months? And I think that's better. I think the thing is, if you don't think a game is going to be ready, first of all,
yeah, you can. I don't mind seeing stuff on it. Just don't give us a.
If you give us a year, maybe, but then you can't really do that.
Either. I mean, I bring this up all the time. God of War, we saw trailers at E3 for like 6 years. It feels like.
Yeah, I think you've got to start showing off stuff further in advance, and then you don't lock that date down till you got that date locked down.
I'm the opposite. Don't show me anything until you're within 6 months of readstoning.
Apex it.
And let me throw it out. Let me throw this out there.
You're saying Apex it.
Oh yeah. I'm a huge fan of Apexing it, Hearthstoning it.
Hearthstoning it. Okay,
yeah, I'm a big fan of that. This week, this doesn't necessarily pertain Xbox, but gaming. This week, there's been some rumors that Final Fantasy 16, done by my man Yoshi P.
My man.
Who does Final Fantasy 14, he says basically rumors, nothing confirmed, but saying that a trailer will drop soon and we're going to get it a lot sooner than expected. So that's my kind of like, hey, drop the trailer and then you'll be playing this by December.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And that's what Bethesda used to do, was what you were saying. And then I know what happened.
I think they were pressured to show something off because of E3 because remember, they were showing this and then they're like, well, let's do... Elder Scrolls, let's show you this
field.
This Google Earth world of nothing.
Yeah, with a title that'll probably change.
So Phil Spencer did come out and make a statement on Twitter. He said, these decisions are hard on teams making the games and our fans. While I fully support giving teams time to release these great games when they are ready, we hear the feedback. Delivering quality and consistency is expected. We will continue to work to better meet those expectations. But a part of that expectation, Phil, that he didn't address there, and where he is taking some slack, and I agree with this part of that criticism, is don't give me a date if you have to keep delaying it. Just stop that. Or give me a date, because I think this is how development works. You set a target. You got to do a better job of doing everything you can to make sure that is deliverable. And maybe Microsoft's just too nice. Microsoft is one of the most enjoyed places to work by developers, supposedly, and there's no complaints ever about burnout. Unfortunately, it's intense to make a game. It's intense to deliver a product on time, and maybe Microsoft isn't up to the snuff to doing that. PlayStation is. PlayStation doesn't have these giant issues for the most part with their big games. Microsoft does. And maybe while Phil Spencer might be a visionary and able to bring us stuff like Game Pass and a new way of gaming for the future, Maybe he's not able to be the hard-nosed guy that it takes to get a game delivered, a major AAA game delivered on time.
Well, it's not so much necessarily on time. Well, we know on time would have been November. If they would have said from the beginning, hey, 2023, this wouldn't be an issue.
Well, that's my problem. Is he's talking about we will continue to work to better meet those expectations. You're setting the expectations.
Yeah.
You decided when to say this date. It's your job now to make that deadline, to meet that deadline. Sony can do it.
They say 6 years from now.
The heads, the heads at Sony do it. And so maybe maybe Phil Spencer's not the guy to deliver to be hard nosed on it. Go if you're not, hire someone.
Yeah, hire the hard nosed guy.
Hire the hard nosed guy.
No, you're right. I very rarely do Sony. I mean, I know they've had delays before, but I mean, I think when Sony sets a date, that game is ready. You know what I mean? And I think and maybe that's what they do. Maybe they wait. Maybe Sony waits until that game goes gold, and then they set their date and just give the developer polish time. You know, and maybe that's their. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I know Sony has had delays, but it does feel like Microsoft has more delays. And but no, to your point, I agree. I think Phil Spencer is the man.
Oh, he
but
is.
I do think they shouldn't have said November 11th if. I don't know. Maybe you didn't know, but I have a hard time believing that because you know what your schedule looks like. It's the reason we were more upset with the Halo debacle because that was like, hey, here's the trailer in November. We're launching next month type of thing. You know what I mean? And then the next week they're like, we're delayed.
Well, also, if if you're planning on dropping Halo with the release of your console and you miss that date, that's a big. Granted, it didn't matter for them at the time because of the shortage that existed.
I think,
but that's still a big date to miss.
This is going in another topic, but I think 343 was the night unorganized and not where they should be at that time. You know what I mean? I don't think the
buck stops.
No,
at the top.
I know. I know you're right, but that's different topic. I don't think 343 was, and I think this going back even to Halo 5. I don't think they were structured properly. I don't think they were organized and equipped to effectively make a game, and maybe they are now. Maybe they with the bringing in Joe Staten and stuff. Maybe they are now, and he's seems to be making some good changes, especially from the last stream we saw. But
the Staten man.
Yeah.
Anyways, regardless, I don't think the delay is a huge deal. And I love Phil Spencer. I think Phil Spencer has turned Xbox all the way around. I don't think.
Why are we starting to blame Phil Spencer for this?
Because there's a pattern. There's a pattern here under Phil Spencer.
Yeah, when's the last Microsoft game that came out?
But
on
time?
Outside of a Forza.
Hold up. I'm gonna dial things back a little bit because I want to. When was the Bethesda purchase? Acquisition.
What, a year
ago?
Last year?
Yeah. This game has been in development for how long?
That's fine. Phil Spencer still makes all those. Hey, we're going to drop where's Starfield at? Okay, let's drop it on this date.
But when did they announce the Starfield release date?
After the Microsoft acquisition.
After the acquisition? Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel. I mean, I feel like probably some responsibility needs to be on Phil, but I don't think as much as you're throwing at him should be.
Well, again. Name a AAA title from Microsoft that was delivered on time.
Master Chief Collection.
outside of Forza, I think
Sea of Thieves, right? But that was bare bones, so I guess that's not a good example. But I don't know.
Now the Forza team, well-oiled machine.
It's a well-oiled running machine.
They know what they're doing.
I just think ultimately, and I'm not saying that it's entirely Phil Spencer's fault. I'm just saying Phil Spencer's starting to make me wonder if he's the guy to deliver first-party titles in the way we are hoping this comes together with all of the studio purchases. He's definitely the guy with vision. He's the guy that has brought us into this next generation of gaming, that has turned it around, that is giving us the best value in gaming with Game Pass. But maybe he's not the guy to deliver exclusive first-party titles.
But see, here's the deal, though. We kind of praise Microsoft for giving these developers artistic freedom.
Sure.
But you can't say that, but then blame him for when they're...
But I think we're getting misconstrued. We're not blaming him for artistic freedom. The problem is why did you give us 11/11/22 and then now we're delaying it? What we're saying is that should have never happened in the first place, because he's saying we will continue to work to meet those expectations. Our expectations were set for November.
Phil Spencer's the one setting those expectations.
Our expectations were set for November, and now they're being delayed. And I'm not against the delay, because if the game needs more time, that's fine. But what I think where David is coming from is, why say November when you're going to delay it? Like, we should, when you set a date, that should be the date.
Or I think
hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry. Shouldn't this be maybe I'm just dumb. Okay.
Sure.
And there's a good possibility of that. But shouldn't this be, in a way, I feel like we should be not praising, but giving Phil a more leeway, because he's allowing these games to be polished before they release. He's not a boardroom saying you have to release a broken game.
And that's a good decision. The bad decision is why set the date in the first place.
It's the same happened, if you remember, at E3 when the E3 event happened with the expectation and the trailers of Halo, and then a few months later, oh, by the way, it's delayed. It's like, well, you're setting the expectation for us. You didn't have to show Halo. You didn't have to say that or lead us to believe that it was coming with the launch of the Series X, and it's coming this time only to delay it. Like that was that's their choice. He's setting the expectation for us and then not delivering on it. And that does fall on Phil Spencer.
He's not the one not delivering.
But he is.
He's in charge of the studio.
He's in charge.
He's the head of Xbox.
No, but I mean, like, he's trusting these developers and these companies.
But maybe that's the problem.
But
don't trust him with release dates.
He's like a general. It's his job to get job to win the war.
I know. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, we praise Phil for giving these people, leeway. And at the same time, because he's trusting these people, they're the ones giving him. We think we can hit that date, and he goes, "You sure?" He's not going in there and saying, you got to hit this date. I feel like he's going, "You sure you can hit that date? Okay, let's put that up there."
But shouldn't systems be in place to make sure that they can hit that date? Because once you set a date, it's like if Avengers set a date and then a week, a month before, they're like, we're gonna release it till next year. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I just think you're being really hard on him, and I feel like.
So I work for a company that develops a gaming app.
Yeah, sure.
And we don't release a date that unless we're sure we can deliver on that date. And if we say we could deliver, people are working as much as possible. That date is happening. That date is gold, barring some crazy unforeseen circumstance.
Sure.
And that's my issue is you don't. He's setting the expectation and then not delivering. It ultimately ends with him. Hey, Phil. Maybe Phil's. He's too much of a friend. I don't know. I don't know what it's like. We're just watching from the outside.
Well, yeah,
I love Phil Spencer. I think he's done a lot for it. All that I'm saying is,
this seems to happen a lot with Microsoft.
This seems to happen recently with their big AAA titles. Do a better job with setting that expectation. Set it accurately. And then if you got to crack the whip, you got to crack the whip. Crack the whip.
Yeah, but then you get
Don't you think that
I get it.
The whip was cracked for God of War to meet whatever God of War or Spider-Man?
When you have 6 years.
Perfection. Here's the thing. In all seriousness, perfection, there is a harshness to perfection. There is a level that you must, if you've played sports, if you've done anything that played music, if you've been involved in high level anything,
if you want to do, and
a great coach demands perfection, and sometimes it's not fun, and sometimes he's the bad guy, but it feels like there's something missing, and it's that like you got to crack the whip sometimes, and I don't know. Again, we're talking as guys that are not on the inside. I'm just saying. Phil Spencer might not be that guy. He's the guy, definitely, to bring us to where we are now. Love him. Maybe he's not the guy to crack the whip.
Yeah.
But
And before we get into this, because I know there's going to be a comment, cracking the whip does not mean what's that thing that people crunch time. You know what I mean? It just.
But sometimes crunch time is. Why did we get into this place where crunch time is not? Mr. Mixpies, you own your own business. How often are you in crunch time to meet deadlines?
About 90% of my.
Crunch time is a part of greatness. Crunch time, all crunch time is we have made this commitment to our players. Everybody on board with that? Everybody on board? We are going to deliver no matter what it takes. And afterwards we can rest and you're going to be rewarded.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of the developers do get
this idea that
time,
crunch time is bad necessarily. No, abusive practices are bad. We're not talking about World of Warcraft,
and
freaking
Blizzard,
freaking Blizzard practices.
We're talking about working hard, to deliver a product.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. We've kind of gone off topic here.
No, well,
but,
I know. I just gave a little bit of pushback because I feel, I don't know. I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to put a lot of blame. To put most of the blame on the one person that's on top of the pile. When there's many hands in the pot that are causing the pile to not be what it's supposed to be. And so, I get it. We shouldn't have that date, but I'm glad that Phil is willing to take the heat to delay it.
Yeah. No, I agree. If it's not ready, don't force it out. Clearly. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Agree with that. My problem is at the beginning. It was my same problem when like I said, with the Halo unveil. You clearly knew that game was not ready. You show it to us at E3. You set the expectation, and then you pull the rug out from underneath us a month later. That doesn't make any sense.
I wasn't so upset with that because I want a game that's
Well,
releases with Forge.
And that's the thing is we're not so upset with this. It's just it's disappointing that it's being delayed. But why set the date in the first place?
Okay, yeah. And having said, I was just bringing up this question. Maybe have we considered that he's not the guy to bring us to the next? He's gotten us this far. Can he bring us over the top? I don't know. We'll see. But ultimately, do I think that it's that big of a deal? No. There's lots of tweets out there and comments, and of course, PlayStation fanboys who are just saying, see, you guys have no games dropping this year. And it's like, well, okay, guess what we still have? We still have Game Pass. Guess what else we still have? We still have the Xbox Series S. Guess what those two equal combined? A powerhouse that is beating everything else out there every month in and month out without these AAA titles. You think consumers are buying the Series S and Game Pass combo right now, saying to themselves, I'm buying this for 6 months from now when Starfield comes out? No, that's not what they're buying. They're buying it because it's the best deal in gaming. That's why they're buying it. And guess what? In November, without Starfield, it's still going to be the best deal in gaming. In December, without Starfield, it's still going to be the best deal in gaming. And parents are going to buy that for their kids, especially with inflation, what it is, with the economic outlook at where it's at. It's a value proposition right now, and that's what's winning. But he is going to have to deliver on that gives you almost a year, saying the first half of 2023. That until
because aren't we
June.
Still in the first half of 2021,
6
2022,
months,
whatever year it is?
Yeah. Anyways, I do think that it is being over. People are making a bigger deal about the delay. I think some of those criticisms that we talked about here are warranted. But I don't think.
Yeah, sure. It was a good discussion.
I don't think it ends. I don't think it's like, oh well, now Microsoft's going to have a bad Christmas because of it. No, it's still the best deal in gaming.
I'm sure they'll still have other stuff.
That's the software side. I want you to think of a better electronic device that has more value than the Series S. There is nothing out there today that gives you as much value in any industry as the Series S. Yeah, that is one of the greatest pieces of machinery mankind has ever produced for the pound for price.
Pound for pound, baby.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible what.
Okay, and let me restate because I'm sure I'm gonna get a comment from Sven, who has left comments before that asshole. Saying, X1 the Gamer, you're an idiot. Phil Spencer's the best. I think Phil Spencer is a leader. I think he's been great. I just, this is...
You think he's too good at being a friend?
Well, no, this is just 2 times that this has happened. Fool me twice. let's see where we go from here. We got to get this together, guys, and get the ship rolling on these exclusives. Set correct expectations. Set dates that you can deliver on.
I just think he can't win, though. If he cracks the whip, like the phrase we keep using, there's going to be some Kotaku article that says that all those employees.
No, Kotaku's a joke.
I actually know. yeah. But you know what I mean? Like,
you're going to get the crunch time articles.
There's just no winning when you're in a place of.
Yeah, but Sony can do it.
Well, but
Nintendo can do it.
Well, and even in chat, they're talking.
No, they can't. But they, the perception is that they can. So.
Yeah, even in chat, they're talking about crunch time, right? I mean, crunch time has had this bad persona around it. We're not saying the employee should be treated bad. David literally said, "Do not do Blizzard Activision stuff," but in a lot of job professions, there is times when you do have to meet deadlines, and some employees do have to work extra. They are compensated for that work, and that is a good working practice. When you meet a deadline and you are compensated for that work, that is good practice.
See, yeah, but
when you treat your employees unhealthily and don't compensate them for their time, that is bad practice. And video gaming is a lot of contracting work, whether you want to believe it or not. So when a certain developer finishes Halo and they're no longer working for the Halo team, that is because they are contracted for that specific work. So you got to.
Well,
I'm throwing out a bunch of stuff. Just you can't just take it face value like, oh, the employees had to work through their or something.
I'm just talking about the 83% of the internet that are a-holes. I'm just talking about no matter what you do at Phil Spencer's level, you're going to get people
you're gonna
that
get,
are.
You're not going to be able to please everybody.
Yeah, and so if he leans the other way, which is what you're suggesting, David, that might improve things. To just crack the whip and have them lean into their deadlines a little bit more, then you're going to get all these articles about how Microsoft is just a terrible company, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? So there's just no winning.
Yeah, Brian F. Says, I think Microsoft will just throw money at bringing in more third-party games to Game Pass to make up for less first-party games this year. Costs them, but benefits the gamer. Mm-hmm. I agree. I think, that's the advantage to having a Game Pass is. Even though your big game got delayed, look at you're still able to offer something to gamers.
Yeah.
And I think it's huge.
Joaquin's made a comment in chat. He says, I'm an attorney. When the job's done, the job's done. I get that, but that's
I think that's Jock.
Oh, Jock. What? Anyway, I get that. When the job's done, the job's done. I get that, but that's effed up. I disagree. That's what contract work is. There's nothing bad about that.
No, he's saying that's an F up. In other words,
okay. Sorry, I read that wrong.
The problem is that the only reason you have crunch time because you've not planned out correctly. And I think he's correct. I think he's correct.
Okay,
with
sorry. I read that wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, just leave the comment for me below. I apologize. I read it wrong. My bad.
With how the world is now, everything's and like he says his terms, an F up. Like, I can't even get baby formula for my kid right now, because of how things have happened the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not like it's insulated to gaming.
It's just how the world is. So I don't know.
I think we're getting way off track.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
here.
Well, I would like to get baby formula for my kid.
Yeah, and ship that P.O. Box 984 Farmington, Utah 84025.
Anyways, well, that was actually a good discussion. We had this is what's neat about this show. I just want to say this: we had opposing views, and we're still friends.
Oh, I hate everyone. Did you guys see the new Division stuff coming? Every time I see Division, it makes me want to jump back into it. Also, anybody jumped into Godzilla Call of Duty, the Monarch event?
No.
Oh, guys.
I heard it wasn't that great, actually.
It's disappointing. I want to see it. I really want to see it. Let's take some questions. To submit a question, you can do so each and every single week over on youtube.com/X1Bros and hit that community tab. And that is where the question goes. B17 Barrage says, being a huge Godzilla fan since I was a kid, seeing a Call of Duty bringing in the King of the Monsters for an event is absolutely amazing. So my question is, what are some of your favorite events that have happened in games? That is a good question. Favorite events.
I actually, I'm going to say one that people might be surprised, but I think it's because it was the first real big event. The Marshmallow concert in Fortnite.
That was
like the first really big game.
That
blew
my mind.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah,
that was next level stuff.
Yeah, first time ever been done. Really at that kind of level, and it was It was cool. It was cool to see, cool to watch.
On how they did it, like within like the game itself, and then it was just a full-on production, like you were at a concert, but within a game. It changed the game, essentially for artists and all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Fortnite's done some pretty cool things within their game. Even another thing. I don't know what was the question again, or what's
cool events.
Favorite event?
Yeah, another Fortnite one is how they updated to, was it Chapter 2, where the game it never ended, but it went boo like outside of the world and it became a dot on the screen while they were updating their servers, and then you go back in when it was back live again.
Remember when they launched? Was that the season where they launched their rockets? What was the one where they launched their rockets? Remember, and changed the whole terrain.
There was news stories about like kids being outside.
Riots in the street from kids.
Well, now you have. What's cool about that is now you have games that are dynamically changing their maps in the game itself, which Fortnite did again. They would have like a meteor come crash down.
What season was that?
And the map has completely changed in certain spots. It's really, really cool how they did a lot of stuff. You may hate the game Fortnite.
So has Fortnite here we go. Has Fortnite had the best events?
I don't think you can when you're making $400 million a month and you don't know what to spend it on.
And I just want to throw out there, they're able to do it.
They're able to do what?
Deliver these events on time.
Well, that's the thing.
Well, but here's
$400
I think you're right. I
on a game that was like an accident.
Well, I think I actually had a friend who had a friend. So
had a friend who had a friend.
All right. Oh, this is one of those
stories. No,
he has no friends.
No. It was actually legit. So I had a friend, and his friend that he went to high school with. We were playing games one time, and he had worked on the art team for Fortnite. He designed some of the stuff that was in the Battle Pass stores and stuff like that, right? And he would work anyway. So basically, he said he said he like paid off his house in like 3 months. Because like that's how Fortnite,
for bonuses.
like Fortnite, the bonus, like Fortnite like they pump out a lot of stuff, but I don't know how it worked, but it made it sound like Fortnite is, this may sound stupid, but like always running. Like there's the morning shift, the swing shift, the afternoon shift. You know what I mean? Like there's always like it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. So back to the question, I think a lot of the things Fortnite has done had changed some things. And I really do like, you give Battlefield some we still do. I mean, they're working on things, but I really kind of like some of their dynamic things, like the tornado. For the first couple of times when you first see it, when there's a PvP game going on of two opposing sides, where the object of the game is to fight each other, get kills, win, etc. But then everybody stops and runs to whatever is over there and just has a good time hang gliding and stuff.
Yeah,
you've done it right.
It's almost something great about
it's
that.
Almost
it's
as
like
if
this community event, this communal event.
It's almost as if you created peace.
Well, think about that. So after your first time, or after a week, that goes away. But think about that. That's why I think gaming is so powerful in 2022. There is no other communal event that exists anymore outside of sports. Sports has these like communal experiences where everybody's watching a championship at the same time, right? TV no longer has that. There's no longer like, did you see it? Did you see the Final Friends? Did Rachel and Ross get together last night? Yeah, I watched it. You tuning in? Oh man, I gotta see it. Or the last episode of Lost. But gaming has that. Everybody remembers where they were when the first time they had a tornado come in, and we all ran over there and jumped in that tornado. But think about Fortnite provided those communal experiences with their giant events and seasons. The whole world was watching, and that's why gaming, I think, is one of the most positive forces on the planet at the moment.
It's true.
And when places like Kotaku try to politicize that, it pisses me off. So Kotaku with their articles about people they don't like and their builds in Elden Ring. Shut the hell up, Kotaku. Shut the hell up.
Leave it out of gaming. For sure.
That's funny. Black Knight, seeing Godzilla shoot his beam is so cool. I've only heard from like a select group of people. I haven't heard,
and
I'll have to try it out.
Great.
I'll have to try it out. So I haven't heard.
Yeah, Jacques brings up a good point. Game of Thrones was the last one that was really like that, and it was because everybody's waiting for that
ending.
That ending.
And then everybody was subsequently.
But gaming provides
disappointed
that,
by
and this like games as a service provides that. To your point though, on Halo, we keep giving Halo. Do you think Season 3 will be? I feel like Season 3 is what everyone's waiting for with Halo.
I mean, that's what we said about Season 2.
Well, Season 2 was we were saying it's going to make or break it. It's going to make or break it, and they came out with pretty decent stuff and playlists and stuff like that are pretty fun. But the problem is, it's not necessarily that. It's this. It's the length of the season of that. I think you lowered that a little bit.
Yeah, so we're waiting until Season 3. I feel like Halo will have it together. One of my favorite events, and when the Megalodon came into Sea of Thieves. And we all fight that together. The first time you did that was so much fun.
Black, it like goes dark.
The Kraken.
And then
the Kraken. It was the Kraken, not the Megalodon.
And the Megalodon was pretty fun too. But the Kraken, really, man, that was the first time that happened. That was scary.
Yeah,
because you have treasure chests that you gotta put in for that 0.0001% grind that you're working on.
So good, so good. Brother Buddha says on Halo Forge is what will save Halo. The community will have the game rise from the ashes like a beautiful phoenix.
No, I think Forge will inject a ton of life into the game because you're going to have a lot of cool community content. I think.
Well, Forge style stuff is what keeps games running for
forever.
A long time.
It's their version of community mods.
Yeah. Look at StarCraft, for example. That game is actually still around, even though it's been the lifespan of that's running on. It was 2009, so 13 years.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, the audience is obviously a lot smaller, but the game still has a lot of fun stuff because of their Forge mode, which is their arcade stuff.
Yeah. Joaquin makes a good point too. Co-op in Halo. I think
it's Jacques.
Do I keep saying it wrong?
Yeah.
Jacques.
Say it, same as his last. Or do whatever you want.
Jacques.
No one's gonna. This is a safe place. You can pronounce whatever you want.
I just read what I read. No, I think
you call him Joaquin though.
Joaquin. Maybe I'm thinking like Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah.
Similar spelling.
Jacques.
Jordan
Let's
is
call him
not
Jacques.
French.
I think so. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
too, though.
maybe you're wrong.
I
who knows? Anyway,
sorry.
no co-op.
Sorry.
I actually
let's
think.
Apologize. Sorry about.
Yeah, no. I agree with him. I think co-op. I don't think the single player campaign gets enough, light in Halo. But I think bringing co-op to that single player campaign is going to inject a lot of life to the game. 4-player in that open world.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be fun. Great question, B17 Barrage. Appreciate it. Brother Buddha writes in and says, what third-party game or games do you think Xbox should lock down day and date in Game Pass to help ease the burden of no Redfall or Starfield in November?
Yeah, okay.
When does Hogwarts come out?
November, December-ish holiday.
Lock that bad boy
if
down.
it doesn't,
You know
if it
what?
doesn't
Lock
get
it in.
delayed again.
You know what? I'm gonna predict it gets delayed.
It may.
After the game looks great, but after seeing some of the animations and stuff like that I feel like
Maybe that was an old build.
Why would you show an old build?
Don't they do that all the time?
Yeah, but
I mean, isn't that what they say when someone makes a comment it's an old build?
For the record, sorry, pause. I was right. Like Jacques Cousteau. Jacques.
Oh,
Thank you.
I apologize.
That's how you spell that.
I apologize again. I can't read.
You're uncultured.
I'm uncultured. Uncultured swine.
So you think Hogwarts?
I think it's gonna be delayed.
I really hope not.
You hope not. But
I'm so excited to go to potions class and stuff.
What makes a game look and feel great is animation.
That's true.
And I feel like they're a little bit lacking. They got to fine tune some things.
Maybe that's what the initial delay was for.
Although because they're Jordan, you complained about this where they should just go like this with their wand, but they go through the underlay the.
Yeah, it is
they
a little
wind up and do the tap tap tap.
It's like
skadoosh.
It's like what's that show where the two people fight with the fencing, the rapiers? It's like my wife loves it. It's the bride.
Princess Bride?
Yeah, remember when they
That's a great show.
Yeah, remember when they fight and they're super over the top about it?
Yeah.
That's what it was like. Because it was a joke.
Yeah, like if you're in a real magical fight with someone,
yeah, like,
I can see your move coming for you
Look,
have huge tails
Well,
there
Hogwarts
with your move.
is not Krav Maga.
let's
okay.
let's be honest. Wands and magic are pretty similar to guns and bullets. Like it's not you're ducking
Except
and then you're pointing.
You want to
and
be
shooting.
efficient, not
Except
flamboyant.
one side's only shooting rubber bullets. That's always,
Yeah.
One side's trying to kill, the other side's just trying to take their wands away.
So I think okay, let's say Hogwarts is not delayed, the Harry Potter game. I think if Microsoft could get that on Game Pass, and not that it has to be exclusive to Game Pass, absolutely not. That's not going to happen ever. But just that it's on Game Pass day one. That's huge.
It's going to be interesting because I was actually thinking about this week. So earlier I talked about how there's rumors floating about that Final Fantasy 16. The trailer may be dropping soon, and then we will get it sooner than we think. And from
Game
what
Pass for you?
Well, no, I highly doubt it. From what we know, that game is a PlayStation console exclusive, and then there was like some stuff they've taken it down from the trailer, but there was some stuff showing that it would be on the PC. So anyway, if Sony comes out with Final Fantasy 16 holiday season, I think Sony would. I don't want to use the word dominate, but I think they would.
A lot of people would like that. Yeah.
I think they would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what if Microsoft gets a couple good deals on Game Pass this holiday season?
So what about Brother Buddha suggests Saints Row or even Gotham Knights? Gotham Knights would be a big one to get.
Yeah, and that's another Warner Brothers game.
Yeah.
So
Spicy, any games you'd like to see to fill in that November-December time slot on Game Pass? Help? What if Hellblade drops then instead?
That'd
Hellblade
be cool.
2.
When is that supposed to come
There
out?
are rumors on the Twitter that I don't think there is a release date,
on the
but there are
Twitter.
rumors on the Twitter that might replace
I'm going to call it the
Replace it.
Twitter from
well,
now on. That's
we
pretty
have
cool.
the
teat. That is Twitter.
Yeah, we have
the news teat. That's what we'll call it.
We have the showcase
think-
that's coming up. They got to have something for the holiday season, right? Like it wasn't just riding on Starfield was probably the biggest, most anticipated.
Yep.
But they got to have something, right?
Oh,
I'm legitimately asking. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
We're about to find out.
I should look. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to ask the internet.
We're about to find
Because
out.
I know we
no,
got a
they've
lot
not
of
announced
third-party
anything,
stuff.
but
I would assume they've got to have something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Chat can help me out too. What are some games?
well, no, Microsoft hasn't. I bet you there's some that are ready that we don't know about. That
Okay.
we'll see during
But that's also
the
like
event.
Okay.
It's only a month away. I think a month away, all of this could be put behind us, and we could be like, "Oh my goodness, did you
Well,
see
then
X, Y,
they're
or
going to
Z?"
say a
Ooh.
trailer, and then a month later they're going to delay and say that trailer
Okay.
doesn't actually.
Okay, and I'll be vindicated in my opinion if that happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, great question, Brother Buddha. I am sure that it's going to be exciting to see what does come to Game Pass. I mean, we've already got solid games with Game Pass, month in and month out dropping. So, great question. Thank you again. Last question comes from Bo Hunter. He says, "Have you all played any indie games lately? I've been playing Tunic. It's a really awesome Game Pass game that I would highly recommend. I mean, that's getting rave reviews.
Is
Tunic.
Trek to Yomi or Yumi indie game?
I would consider that indie game. Yes. Also, I have been playing Wild West.
Yeah. How's that?
Technically, No Man's Sky is an indie game.
Really
Hello,
good.
Yeah. Hello Games.
No Man's Sky is one of my favorite games at the moment.
Do you guys need
Very,
money in that
very
game?
good. No,
I have more money. I have money
pretty
coming
set.
out of my eyeballs now.
I'm pretty set. Now my goal is to conquer the galaxy.
The universe.
Yeah.
Have you progressed the story?
No, not yet. I've jumped in and I've really just tweaked my craft. Been focusing on my craft tweaks.
Good for you.
No, you.
Jordan,
But
you
yeah,
need money?
Wild West,
I
any-
just don't know what to do with my money at this point.
No, I'm good. I mean,
All right. Well, if anybody wants money out there,
So I highly recommend Wild West. Jordan Man, McSpicy. Have you guys played any indie games lately? Wild West is on Game Pass.
Well, obviously.
Trek to Yomi, did you play it?
No Man's Sky. I played a little bit of it.
Oh yeah, you like it?
I do. So I get where people are saying. I mean, there's probably still a little because I'm not super far into it. There's probably a little bit more that I'm gonna unlock with the combat system. But I think I'm not gonna say for sure, but I think I get what people were talking about. How you can kind of just breeze through with the combat. I think last week there was a few people telling us that you can just use like one combo the whole game. I feel like I can kind of see that. At this point, I don't think I care because I'm still like captured by the style, the setting, and what the game is telling me. You know. So we'll see how repetitive or you know what I mean.
Yeah, Spicy, how about you? Indie games to recommend?
To recommend?
For our good friend Bow Hunter?
That are like recent on Game Pass?
It doesn't matter. Just that you've recently played.
Well, I really haven't had a lot of time to play anything, but I have been playing No Man's Sky. We talked about that.
Then there you go, No Man's Sky, Bow Hunter. And it is on Game Pass.
It's a great game.
It really is. I think
You can play it how you want to play it.
I am just loving that game right now. Loving it with all of my being.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good for you.
Everybody, thank you very much for that question, Bow Hunter. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, mucho.
When is E3, by the way?
The usual,
the Microsoft Bethesda
Sunday,
showcase.
June 12th.
June 12th. Okay.
Yes.
next month.
I will have to. So during that, guys, just plan ahead. We will not have a podcast that week because Friday's the podcast. It would be outdated in 2 days.
Yeah.
So
by the time you heard it, you're like, this guy.
yeah. So we will have a podcast the Monday because I will be out of town traveling back late Sunday night. Monday evening will be our podcast. The 13th will be. It will have time to soak everything in, get all the details.
Is there anything else going on? Because I know we have the Bethesda Microsoft event or whatever. Is there any others that like that?
Not that I'm
we
aware
know
of.
of,
Yeah.
So it's basically
It's their month.
Microsoft Theater and that's it.
Microsoft Theater, baby. Well, the
Oh, hey.
Microsoft.
Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, go ahead.
David, you actually did a video on this last weekend. Shortly after our show, the Xbox servers were down all weekend long.
Yes, they were.
I
down.
actually have a theory.
Give
I
me
think
it,
it
give
was
it to
to get people to spend time with their mothers
For Mother's Day. Yeah,
I
happy
think it was
Mother's Day,
Microsoft's
everyone.
gift to mothers.
Yeah,
No, it was a real bummer.
It brings a question up. So you weren't able to access. A lot of players, some players were. A lot of players weren't able to
I
access
couldn't.
their games, even if it was downloaded on their console.
That was the
and
frustrating
did
part.
not require and was a single player game, which I think really brings into question. And I did a video on this on my channel. It really brings into question. Well, do you really own the game then? And I think that they do need to come up with a solution that clarifies that because I expect if it's a live service game, I expect yes, absolutely. But that's why also most live service games are free because you don't own the game. It's in-game purchases via battle passes and whatnot. But if I own a game, if it's downloaded on my console, I should be able to play regardless of internet connection, which you can if you set it up beforehand. But in the event that something like this happens and goes down, I should be able to play. It
Now,
should be mine.
See, here's what, because I was seeing comments because this was pretty big. There's threads
couldn't
everywhere
play.
and stuff.
There
I
was
was
what?
I
Everywhere?
was
Threads?
Threads.
Oh, I thought you said there's
There
threats
was
everywhere.
threats going. I mean, people got
People
intense.
are pissed.
Yeah, no threads going on. People were saying, oh, I have my Xbox in offline mode and I'm able to play just fine. This and that. My question is if the servers aren't working, aren't you technically in offline mode? I mean, do you actually have? Because I never actually went in and physically said go offline on my Xbox or put it in offline mode. Would that have fixed the issue? But
so for some players, yes.
for some players, no. It seemed like it was really sporadic.
But no, and then they did fix it and thought it was fixed, and then it popped up again later. So it took about 2 days for everything.
Yeah,
to
it was
get
the whole
settled.
weekend almost.
So yeah. But I mean, I think that should be the standard. If it's downloaded on your game, it does not require online multiplayer. You should be able to play the game.
Yeah, that's the Diablo 3.
What if a developer?
Feeling.
What if a developer requires a check-in though?
So that's
But
the
that's-
thing. That's so here you're running into like DRM issues.
Well, and that was the big talk over the weekend.
Yeah, you run into that because they need to help, or Microsoft developers go to Microsoft in hopes that their game doesn't get pirated. Essentially, well, I don't know how it works essentially, but that whole system is set up to prevent piracy of video games, and that's the check-ins. When you launch the game, it does a quick ping and goes, "Do you own it? Here's my box code. Here's my account number. This is blah blah blah, whatever." I mean, David, I get it. When you own a game, you want to play it, but how else would you do it?
So
How else would you do a digital game to both protect the IP, protect it from privacy, and not have a physical copy? Is there any other? How would you change.
I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
'cause
Microsoft has more money than God. They should figure it out.
Yeah, that's true.
They do that because they have DRM.
The only reason I asked, I mean, the Microsoft thing was
no,
like,
that's not right.
I mean, the only reason I asked is because I know when people hear the words DRM, which just stands for digital rights management, I mean, it can be a hot topic. The Witcher 3, when I moved into a house that didn't have internet at the time, so Mark and I figured, and Witcher 3 had a check-in system. It would just check you at the beginning of the game, like right when you hit the main menu, and then you were done. That was it. And that's how a lot of games, a lot of single-player games work. So Mark and I figured out that we can just hotspot the Xbox to a cell phone and then check in and turn it off, and I was fine. I was able to play as long as I didn't.
Once you launch it, you're in.
Yeah, and I was in, and that. I don't know how to say that didn't upset me because I'm okay with CD Projekt Red having that little DRM check to protect their product. You know what I mean? Like if they make a good product, I should, I get it. That's how it works. It's a mutual transaction, right?
Yeah. But you're just leasing the game at that point. It's like the difference between buying a car and leasing a car is when you buy a car, I can drive it as many miles as I want, whenever I want. Mm-hmm. I can do the oil change whenever I want and maintenance. When you lease a car, you're limited. You can only drive it this many a month. You have mandatory maintenance check-ins. That to me is what DRM essentially is. I'm leasing a game. I'm not owning the game.
I don't think that. I just think you're adding extra maintenance to the vehicle with DRM, and it can get out of control. It really can. DRM can be.
There's been bad examples of it, right?
It can be bad. I think though, David, I don't think that's the same thing. I don't think what you still.
What I'm asking, taking Witcher 3, is that a misstep on CD Projekt Red's part?
No, I understand why it's there. I think the reason that it's there is good. Uh-huh. I'm just saying I don't then technically own the game.
No,
I can only play it as so long as CD Projekt Red's check-in service is working.
No, and it's not their check-in service. It's
Microsoft's. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that check-in service would be Microsoft's check-in.
But I would consider it more like, I don't know. It's a fluid that your car needs because
it's the oil you need to change every.
If you buy digital, then you need an internet connection to make that. You just need internet. Usually, so here's the deal. When I would go out of town, my wife's family would get a place up at Bear Lake, essentially, that had no internet, and it was always frustrating because I would bring my Xbox, and I wouldn't be able to play because of this whole system, and it's super, super frustrating. I get it, but I don't know any way around that to, at the same time, protect the developer party.
Yeah.
Is that the trade-off you make when buying digital?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's the inconvenience we have to go through to be able to
not get up off the couch and put a disc in.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's a matter of you saying that you actually don't own it. I would say that's more. I would say this is going to get off topic a little bit, but that's Apple and their phones. I feel like you actually don't own your phones because
no, but I do. Because I can turn on my phone without internet connection and it still.
But you can't crack the hood open.
Whatever
and fix things.
But whatever is downloaded on my phone is mine. That's. It would be like if I lost internet connection. Obviously, anything that requires internet is not going to work. But it's like I can't open up anything on my phone.
I'm not talking.
That would be like that.
I'm not talking about the software. I'm actually talking about the phones. It's not. I'm saying we're getting a little off topic, but I would say you technically don't own your phone because you cannot open it up and replace certain chips, or you can't
but with that
repair yourself.
With that logic, you technically don't own your TV either.
Well, that's the thing. That's actually repair shops are going obsolete.
Because it's just buy new type thing.
But then you turn it.
But there's a difference between voiding your warranty and being required to check in every time you fire up a game, to the point that if something happened, it's out of your control whether or not you can play that game. Like what happened this last weekend.
But that's the thing. Like you download it from the internet. Yeah, I get it. And you technically, David, if you prepare ahead.
Yeah, if you prepare ahead of time, I totally get that.
And the same thing happens with Steam. They have their own. You have to be online to play Steam games, and you have to go on offline mode. That's what I would do. I would prep my laptop to have the games that I want to play, and then I would go into offline mode and do it. It's not just a Microsoft. It's just a DRM issue.
And granted, this is, I mean, rarely happens to the extent that it happened this weekend. But I do think it highlights
a flaw in the system. And all I'm saying is that I hope that flaw, there's technology advances to a point that flaw is not even a possibility in the future.
And I don't. Yeah. I actually don't. As a consumer, DRM is extremely frustrating. I buy music on Amazon, for example, so I can put it on my Plex server because I can't with other places because of how DRM. It's super weird and frustrating. DRM can just make the consumer have to jump through like 1,500 hoops, it's super frustrating.
I don't want to jump through any hoops, man.
And that's the thing. It's not just Microsoft. It's not just the Xbox, it's the whole system of DRM. But how is there a way around that when we are in a digital world? I don't know.
They can put a man on the moon, but they can't let me play my game?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. It'll take smarter people than me to fix it, but I get it. It's super frustrating as a consumer. And when the system goes down like that, that's what we saw is what happens over the weekend. It happens all over the place.
I mean, on the Xbox, it is very rare, and it did seem to only affect, like Reactor Leak says, primarily affect people who game shared. So if you didn't game share, you were golden.
Well, I mean, again, short-sighted solution. Could there be something as like a 24 to 48 hour check-in for certain game? You know what I mean?
Well, and there actually is, and that's like how Steam works.
Yeah.
Although
or
you
like
need
a
to
3-day check-in.
You need to think ahead. It's a 30-day check-in, but you need to know that you're going to be going offline to prep it. And maybe the system is maybe they have a system in place that just does it. If you're on the internet a day ago, it still will allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, then you have hackers that'll abuse. The problem is hackers are smart.
Freaking hackers.
You can't stop the hacker. The hackers, like it's like a company versus the world when it's like
it really is. Yeah.
So how do you outsmart that which
it's
can't
limited?
Be outsmarted?
A limited pool of knowledge, i.e., the size of your company, versus the combined knowledge of the whole world.
Yeah, it's
didn't Microsoft actually like hire a hacker from Canada?
They hire
don't they?
hackers.
I mean,
it was like you can go to jail or you can come work for us.
There are companies set up, and their job is to find out what your
weak
weaknesses
spots
are,
are,
and then you fix them.
You're describing every computer movie in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like every hacker movie in the 90s. Well, that's exactly.
No,
right.
So we talked about like the offline mode. Don't you feel that there should be a system in place to where if their servers go, like it was like David said, it was out of our control. It was their issue that affected our lives.
That's what I see. But
why can't we just, okay, your servers are down. Why can't the Xbox just be in offline mode and I can still play of course I'm not expecting to play Fortnite, right? Like I think there's, but if I wanted to play the Call of Duty campaign, why can't I?
That's what I mean. Maybe they have it on a timer where it just resets every 3 days or a week or something, because that's what happened. Right now it's a ping system when you launch the game. What if it's an Xbox, software OS system where it does it every week? Maybe that's how you fix it.
And that's where so
you can still play your single player games. You just can't play PvP.
Well, and then I think that's where the question, like, do I own my own game? Because I think that was the question a lot of people had. Well, wait a minute. Why can't I just play The Witcher?
You're
or why can't I play,
what me and Jordan went through when Diablo 3 launched.
Except that was, terrible.
Well, it was terrible last week. I did not have a lot of time to play, and I wanted to play, and I couldn't. So I ended up watching television. That sucks.
I don't mean terrible. I mean, like, that was on purpose. They purposely did that, and they were like, well, why can't I just play the game?
Yeah, it's like a DRM is like a crappy thing that we all have to deal with, and it's not just Microsoft; it's everywhere. But it's a necessary evil, I guess.
Yeah.
you could consider it. I don't know.
This topic bores me now.
I know. I can tell you. You've sighed like 3 times.
Yeah, like
that's because
you're like, oh, I don't care anymore.
It's just we beat it to death.
All right.
I'm also hungry.
Okay. Is there any other questions? Or are we done?
We're done. We're done. That was it. We're getting ready to leave, and then Jordan brings up the DRM issue.
Oh, sorry.
Sidetrack.
No,
us.
that's actually interesting though because
I enjoyed the conversation.
It is
it was a good conversation.
I mean, I know you're done with this, Jordan or David, so I'll talk to Jordan. Like, how stupid was it? How stupid was it when Diablo 3 launched, and it was a single-player game at the time that we could not play, but Blizzard's servers were down for 30 days when it launched. Like, how...
What was it, Arrow 303 or something like that?
Yeah, how dumb is that? And that's what it is. And that's... I get the frustration over the weekend. It's dumb. I just don't know how to get around it besides like a timed check-in system.
You buy your mom an Xbox for Mother's Day and she can't even play.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it sucks. But what can you do, David? And you are clocked out, so I can go ahead and hit that button if you want.
I know. I want to say I do want to shout out Brian Sakowitz, who joined, became a wingman status at the beginning of the show. Thank you very much, Brian Sakowitz. We appreciate it. Sakowitz. I think I'm saying it.
Who says headphone review on the ones you're wearing? What are those headphones?
I like them. I don't know. I found them on Amazon.
His review? He likes them.
He likes them. He doesn't even know what they are yet.
I like them. I have no idea. They're like $50 on Amazon. Super Shocker drops a super chat and says mobile apps are terrible. Super Shocker, thank you for that super chat, my man.
And that's it, right?
And let's get out here, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it. We love hanging out with you guys. Hope you enjoyed our many conversations. If you disagree with us, we still love you. If we disagree with you, we still love you as well. Keep gaming fun.
Amen. And I am excited about a lot of games coming out. It'll be nice.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Jordan?
Yeah, me too.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I love you guys.